May not necessarily be the views held by the station, but I bet we're really close, at least. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to a 1-hour special edition of Outside the Box with yours truly, Kate of Gaia. Mouthiest tranny on the web, I guess. We had to move the QL television slot ahead for an hour, and I thought, perfect, double header, truther. Woohoo! Party time. All things for a reason. Yeah, booty shaking everywhere indeed. Damn. All right. Really trying to tame the Katie Potty Mouse. Been getting by so many things, and the whole thing with me is about truth is what it is, and it expresses itself in whatever way. And one of the things I found very effective, more so than anything, is throwing in the odd word that might make people a little edgy, because it certainly gets them outside their comfort zone. And but that being said, I've been a bad girl, and I'm going to try to tame it down a little, because I do get carried away. And that's just the way I roll. But there you have it. Yeah, listen, so we've got a really cool show coming up with QL Television, and I will be posting the links and all. We'll have a half-hour intermission so you can get popcorn and everything, because then we go on TV. So between, I'm doing the 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock here on Critical Mass Radio Online, and then at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is 1:30 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, we're going to be moving over to Johnny at QL Television for an interview with, of course, myself and Tony Z, as usual. And we've got Tony Farrell and Seven coming on for a world exclusive, guys. This is some pretty hard-hitting news that's coming out. These are incredible times that we're living in, and the truth is just pouring out of every orifice from the New World Order, elites, Illuminati, whatever you want to call this darkness that we've been dealing with. And again, that is our shadow that we have to contend with, and we've spent far too long running away from it in absolute fear. So it's time to take a little bit of accountability. Now, I was working on an essay last night. It's not quite finished yet, but I am going to read what I have, and it will be, to be continued. Not sure when. Might be tomorrow night. Waiting for confirmation to see if Tony Farrell and Seven will be joining us on Critical Mass Radio for 2 hours tomorrow night, and a follow-up of the 1 hour with QL Television tonight. You might want to, if you already have the links from any of the other times that we've done QL Television, you might want to get that loaded up, because we are going to be rolling at 8:30 sharp. It's a bit late for the people in the UK, and Tony and the guests are over there, so a 1:30 a.m. start to go on a show for an hour is, that can be pretty daunting. But hey, truth never sleeps, and that's the way we like to fly here. Okay, so another couple of quick announcements, and of course, it's really hard to not speak ill of the dead, in that most of humanity are walking zombies. They don't know who they are, and they are, in accordance with system rules, bound and gagged and slave to the name, which is in fact a dead thing. If you claim the name, well, you've claimed a death certificate. So I would highly recommend to stop doing that and start actually understanding who and what it is you are. Because that is a tough thing, and I got to tell you, I've said this absolute blatant truth so many times, and most people still aren't getting it. And it's as simple as walking away from the system. And everyone goes, well, I can't do that because I got the job, and I got this, and I got that, and I got the other. And yeah, that's fine. I totally get that. I had that too. I walked away, and just waiting for you guys. That's all. I just got tired of betting the whore of Babylon and buying into the lies, buying into corporatism. And this is kind of a little segue that I'm going to push into my essay. So, one of the New World Order puppets extraordinaire, actually, Maggie Thatcher, gets to go meet herself. She gets to go judge herself. She just dropped the meat stick. And there's another word I want to clarify. A lot of people think that I use that as a derogatory against the vessel that we walk around in. No, not at all, because you are walking around in a divine sacred vessel, yet the number of poisons you put into it turns it into a meat stick. Be it sucking back Diet Coke, or heading to your junk food centers, and partaking in carnivorous actions. And no harm, no foul to those that still like to eat the dead, which is death eating to me. Go ahead, knock yourself out, but just keep this in the back of your mind: you are what you eat. That's all. So if you wonder why people are acting like cattle and walking around in herds and getting put into box stores and walk down alleyways and chutes and all the rest of it, well, that's just part and parcel to one of the aspects of what we eat. Cattle, cows. And, the old saying, hey, what are you, chicken? Fear, scared. I believe people eat that too. And look at you pig. There's that pork thing, right? And again, I like to bring that part up as well. If you're going to do anything to back off the whole death eating thing, please just take this one and just start with this and get this reality. When you're eating pork, pig, you're eating the other white meat, which is actually the closest thing to human flesh you will find on this planet. We are more closely related to the pig genetically than any other animal on this earth. That includes monkeys. Okay? That's why they use pig hearts. That's why they use insulin from pigs, because it matches up so closely to what we are and what we have. So just a thought, at least stop eating pigs. You're basically acting like a cannibal. Okay, little rant over. Okay, and by the way, you can call in tonight. I have no issues with that. It's kind of a one-on-one with yours truly and you. And feel free. The number is 661-467-2401. And if you refresh the page that you're on with the show that you're listening to right now, if the Skype button isn't there, the refresh will bring that up and you can Skype in. So that's a real easy way to do it as well. In the meantime, I'm going to be about 15 minutes or more with this essay. Then I'm going to start getting into breaking it down a bit further. But one of the things that I've noticed of late, and that includes myself, you have to remember, when I speak, I'm not speaking to people, I'm speaking as one of the everyone. Always have, always will. What I speak out is also reflective of me. And I am always aware of that. And we really have to be mindful of the things that we say and the correlations that we make. And I will address this right now as well. There was a post, comments that have been made on that rabbi pedophile, penis chomping, blood sucking, child mutilation thing, that's still on my Facebook page. And there was, excuse me, and it was no slight against the individual. This was the point I was trying to make, and failed miserably, obviously. I ended up being called a jerk, and that's okay. Hate me if you want. I don't care. That's entirely up to you. It's a no harm, no foul situation with me. The simple truth is, it's about breaking down how we speak. It's about learning to not tie things together, because this is part of the system program. In as much as they teach children in school in history, let's say they talk about World War I and World War II, and who won, gives that false impression that somehow we won the war, that somehow there's something good about war. And it's the insidious little triggers that keep that whole notion that something so very vile and evil is somehow okay, as long as you win. So I want to really try to dispel this spelling, if you will. See, the thing is, when we talk about the situation with this ritualistic mutilation of a child, and that's all it is. I mean, this is a ritual that has been written down thousands of years ago, that some psychotic piece of shit, potty mouth, decided, that's a little one, decided that somehow it was okay to rip off the female essence, divine essence, off the male, which is the foreskin. Have a look into Janice Barcelo's work, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Because physiologically, we have things that are connected. Like I've talked before about the tip of your nose is actually connected to your heart. So when they say follow your nose, they're actually saying follow your heart. everything within the body is interconnected, interrelated, as above, so below. Everything works together, as within, so without, as without, so within. So we have to be very, very mindful of the things that are happening. And it would make a whole lot of sense for a patriarchal, psychotic, male control ego thing to want to make sure that love could never be experienced by, the lower males, if you will, because that's how they look at it. It's a hierarchical thing. And one of the things that has been done for so very long is the mutilation of the male phallus, which is the removal of the foreskin to completely expose the glands and effectively rip away the divine feminine essence of the male, because that is the actual part of the male that bonds physically with the female during intercourse. We talk about everything here. I like to make sure that people get truth as much as I find, and here I'm just going to share it with you. So what we have now is a very heinous practice with regards to mutilating days-old boys and literally ripping away any sense of love that they would ever be able to connect with on a physical level, thereby making it even more difficult for a man to bond with his mate. Which totally makes sense to keep man in a very warlike state, very testosterone-driven, having no connections in that regard. And that's not to say that some men don't, even if they have been circumcised, which has no medical backing whatsoever. They can lay down whatever bullshit they want, and that's fine. Sorry, I'm not buying it. Anything the churches say is probably not good for you, because you're looking at what religiocosis chosenitis has done to this planet. And I don't know about you, but it seems to be a bit of a mess out there as far as people liking to go around the world killing people just for money and oil and profits and what have you. So the point was raised that somehow this is the correlation of words, and when people do this really sets my fires off, because all I see in it's not the individual. And this is the thing: people think that I'm talking to their most loving spiritual self. I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm trying to trigger the tricky little bastard called the ego to get people to see it, in as much as I call bodies meat sticks, to go, oh, wait a minute, yeah, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're the driver of this divine vessel. So again, it's about throwing ice water on old things that people have simply glazed over on. So anyway, the comment was made that something about I could go to them, but it's not really that important. Effectively, what had happened in the post was there was a correlation between drag queens and gay tendencies and man boy love and all the rest of these trigger words, which effectively says that these individuals, you can read it both sides, right? If you're going to look at someone and say, well, that's a drag queen psychopathic type individual, what you've done is you've dragged in a very loving part of the community. I got to tell you, they're fun-loving beings. That I know. Same thing with the whole notion that this is somehow a sexual orientation, which they're trying to push in California, that somehow pedophilia, and let's call it what it is, child raping. Pedophilia means lover of children. They're certainly not lovers of children. Let's call them what they are, child rapists and child mutilators. Is not a sexual orientation. It is a psychopathic deviance. A big difference. So when you bring words that are part of society in group speak, when you bring them together, you're tying them together. So if there is a tendency to be psychopathic attached to something, then it smears, and it's associative cognitive dissonance that you're dealing with. So what we need to do is learn to speak things better, call it for what it is. You don't need an analogy to say that someone is an absolute monster, child rapist, killer of children, whatever. That's pretty clear. It's got nothing to do with any sexual orientation or any aspect of love whatsoever. So I don't bring anything into an equation that doesn't belong there. Period. I just say it for what it is. And anyway, the individual obviously got very pissed off at me, thinking I was attacking them. I wasn't. What I was attacking was the cognitive dissonance that was occurring by joining these phrases together. So we need to start to learn to speak clearer. I've spent a lifetime trying, and I will continue. Even with the occasional potty mouth, I will do that. But what we need to do is start looking at things for what they are. When you attach something to it, it's like you're giving it an excuse. Sorry, there is no excuse. And on occasion, you've heard me talk about judges, dressed up in their robes and dressing in drag, and I will tell you this right now. I've said it every time. It says, no, they can't do that because they don't even know how to accessorize. Drag queens do. These guys are just idiots, walking around in their vestments. So, without further ado, I'll get into this little essay thing that I had going on here. So I'm just checking my Skype here while we go and see what's going on in the Love and Stuff room. I am going to do my best to jump around. It's a little harder when I'm obviously reading, and obviously even harder when I haven't got Tony here. Tony's sorting out some stuff with Tony Farrell and Seven for the show that's coming up at 8:30 Eastern Standard. Okay, so where are we? Yeah. Love and Stuff is going on. That's what is going on. Absolutely, Mary. Thank you, love. That's beautiful. All right, so I'm still in a mid-sentence here. I've been nonstop, as usual, so I never got a chance to finish what I started last night. But I will finish it probably after the interview with Tony and Seven later. Who are you? An open letter to humanity. This letter shall be your mirror, as it is mine, to gaze into with delight, or be repelled and disgusted, as per your own internal judgments. For no one else can be that for you or for me. Are you enlightened spiritually or encased in a material tomb of your own making? By the end of this, only you will know, so the pleading of ignorance will be as an ember cast off into the wind from your own fires within. Always be mindful of the ego in this regard, for it will try to convince you of things you are and of things you are not. But your heart will correct you otherwise every time. There is no escape from that. As you, the reader, or listener in this case, walk through your daily life asleep or awake, you will come into contact with me, for I am everywhere and everyone, because I am human. I, the everyone, has much in common with you. I breathe, I feel pain, I bleed when I am cut, and I cry when I am hurt. I laugh when I am joyful, and most of all, I love. My love, however, is unconditional. It knows no borders, no races, no religions, no governments, no barriers whatsoever, you see. When love is what love is, there is nothing that can stop it, and certainly nothing that can conquer it. The only changing factor in that truth is you, and what you believe to be true and real, and what you know to be true and real based on the terms and conditions you place on conditional love versus unconditional. Are you the one that fell in love with someone, but because of your upbringing, programs of societal conditions, forbade you your own heart? Was your program one of division from humanity based on religion, gender, politics, or bias, etc., based on the families you were born into? Have you dared to actually ever stand in your own heart and purposes to reach beyond that little box you were thrust into at birth? By observation only, it is easy to see our inhumanity in our day-to-day lives being played out, and all of it based on concepts and stigmas that were created for you and not by you. As I look around me into the everyone of humanity, time and time again I see the same destructive forces being played out by those in ignorance of who they are. All too often, the being of you is defined by the job you have, the uniform you wear, and the imprints placed upon you by those closest to you since birth. Typically, many became the vicarious apparitions of their parents and remain humanly dead for a lifetime, and who knows for how many other lifetimes they have been caught in the same programs over and over. They're easy to spot. They are the ones that like to feign authority over their fellow humans via many means and methods. These are the ones that like to inflict harm on their fellow humanity, and usually at the beck and call of another they have given their own authority away to. This is the master-slave paradigm program. You will see them in courtrooms called judges and lawyers. You will see them in banks, governments, churches, precincts, armies, and everywhere uniforms are involved. Uniform means one form, so suits and ties, clerical vestments and robes, and all manner of outward apparel makes them uniformed and slaves to one master or another. They are the ones that measure their strength and how much control they can exert over others by deceptive and oft-times violent means. These humans, if they can be called that, are more enslaved than the rest of the everyone. They will knowingly and unknowingly inflict harm upon others in humanity and puff up their own chests with pride after having done so, and I'm sure you recognize your mirror already. Yes, you, the closet deviant, who practices many of the dark arts. You are the ones with child porn on your computer. Some of you are the rapists of children and the traffickers of your fellow man, be it by means of handing out a traffic ticket or being involved in a child sex ring. You're all the same to me, since willing harm in anyone is willing harm in everyone, but mostly upon yourself. You see, I cannot judge you, nor would I, because that is what you're doing right now. You are standing in the shadow of yourself, where only you can give it light. I know your dirty little secrets, and they just came into view for you to see. You are the writers of falsehoods in the media, the newspapers and magazines. You are the purveyors of fear and deception, and you have your 30 pieces of silver every week proving that Judas is within. You are the salesmen of liars, murderers and thieves, propagating the wishes of your masters, and masters you indeed have, and your paycheck is your proof. You have become the damned and the damnable of your own doing and of your own free will choosing, where ignorance is not your defense. Your own heart, if you have one, ferrets it out for you, where all I have to do is mention it. You know you are the rapist, the thief, the pedophile, the murderer, and love that word, and facilitators of war and harm. There is but one law that proves your free will choice, and the ignorance card cannot be played here, because that self-same card awaits you upon its inevitable return, so that you may experience everything you have ever done to harm another. It's a simple rule, but yields the powers of the universe and its creator. Such is natural law. Many a saying or anecdote has been used to describe it, but suffice it to say, in its original form, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Unfortunately, the mostly ignorant fail to see the mirror in this one, and time and again they get to suffer the inevitable swing back of the pendulum, be it this life or the next. Oh, have no doubts. Those that inflict evil in any and all its forms can never escape this truth by simply thinking that they will die and be done with it. No, that's not how it works. And depending on the intent of those that you harmed, that which inevitably comes round will come round faster than you may expect now. It's quite simple, really. If you wished harm upon me, then it is because it is you that wishes to experience that mirror. In your actions, from spiritual precedent intent, you have already judged yourselves, as I have done the same for me. Every ticket you write, every false article you air, every home you steal, every child you rape, etc., ad nauseum, is coming to a being real soon, and that being is you. Alas, you sit and gloat at your fortunes stolen from others, your hedge fund brilliance in creating false algorithms to perpetuate the frauds, until that math invariably fails too. Love when that happens. These are the houses you have built on the sand, the false idols you worship, and the whore of Babylon called commerce you greedily perform cunnilingus on after the millions have bedded her before you. I think I'm going to wait and reread this, because that's just downright annoying. Anytime, phone. Thank you. Ugh, there's a giggle for you. All right, so there we go. I think that should be it. Da-da-da-da-da. Go get some popcorn. There we go. Anytime? Ah, there you go. You know, after about 5 rings, you think somebody would give up. Oh, they're not going to answer. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to come back to the paragraph before and just finish it off so we keep the flow going, guys. I need you to get the energy of this. Every ticket you write, every false article you air, every home you steal, every child you rape, etc., ad nauseum, is coming to a being real soon, and that being is you. Alas, you sit and gloat at your fortunes stolen from others, your hedge fund brilliance in creating false algorithms to perpetuate the frauds, until that math invariably fails too. These are the houses you have built on the sand, the false idols you worship, and the whore of Babylon called commerce you greedily perform cunnilingus on after the millions have bedded her before you. You do not know who you are because you are a false entity, an id entity, created by another and has you enslaved by virtue of your willing blindness. You, who claim to be humanity's best based on your illusional position of feigned power, gloat in the creation of your own hells. You are the murderers of children because somehow you think your children are superior and create the same vicious circle that has plagued humanity for countless eons. You measure value in material things, titles, and all manner of lower mind ego, driven lust that will keep you enslaved until you can face yourself in humanity's mirror. Isn't that interesting? Tell you what, we're going to go to a song here, and I will go take that phone off the hook. So here we go. I'm just going to mute out.
I've never seen before my eyes this dream. I've never known what makes this child to see. Like tears from a mountain pouring gently to the sea, a curiosity. Will you dare to touch my soul? Is love so frail that we can't hope to be more than we are, more than our hearts can see? And if for any reason on this field of broken dreams we stand to lose it all, then for you, yes, I do it willingly. If this is our moment, captured in time, always to sustain, for lost in your eyes I find are the only means to remain. Searching relentlessly, just like a cloud, she chases the rain. We'll stand here firm, 'cause we are an island protected by love on this field of broken dreams. It's never clear, this path of destiny. That's why we're here, to find our need to be. Elusive as a rainbow, we can try to steal her gold, but she'll give it willingly. Will you dare to ask her though? We'll find a way, we must believe in us. There'll come a day, we'll soar, and when it does, the sky will have no boundaries. I will challenge every sea, I will never lose this dream. 'Cause for you, yes, I do it willingly. If this is our moment, captured in time, always to sustain, for lost in your eyes I find are the only means to remain. Searching relentlessly, just like a cloud, she chases the rain. We'll stand here firm, 'cause we are an island protected by love on this field of broken dreams. On this field of broken dreams.
And we're back. Anyway, yeah. I was trying to catch up a little bit on Facebook there, and hello Otis, hello Sylvia, hello Harry. Oh my God, some of the comments you guys have made today are just hilarious. And someone had asked, Marie, that's any tunes I play are mine. Well, they're yours because you heard them. You make your own dreams up with them. But yes, I wrote and performed all the tunes you will hear me play because some people have an issue with copyright and I don't. So my songs are all free and downloadable. I have many thousands of songs written. Didn't have much of a life, I guess. That was my meditation. Maybe that's what helped me out. So, getting back to this. Yeah. All right. So, again, I will go back to the sentence before, just so you can get back in the groove with me. So this is carrying on. You are the murderers of children because somehow you think your children are superior and create the same vicious circle that has plagued humanity for countless eons. You measure value in material things, titles, and all manner of lower mind ego-driven lusts that will keep you enslaved until you can face yourself in humanity's mirror. As the saying goes, if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out, which is to mean metaphorically that if you see something within yourself that is offensive, stop doing it. Only in the realization of this fact can you repent at all. This goes far beyond the literal translations of the spiritual tomes that are being used to great effect to keep humanity warring due to its god of war teachings and fanatical followers. If your gain comes at the expense of others, be it financial or lives lost, you are guilty by association. If you work for or manufacture weapons, ammunition, and similar tools of murder, you are guilty. If you work for any corporation that promotes war, you are as guilty as the jarhead that pulls the trigger or launches the missiles. If you are a pilot and work to chemspray and geoengineer the planet, you are guilty of genocide by the act and prior intent to do so. To you, the best and brightest that are bought off by think tanks, you are doing nothing more than a sellout to humanity for the same 30 pieces of silver. This list is almost endless with the entanglement of humanity in its own destruction, and all you can say is, I'm just doing my job, and I have a family to feed, and as much as somehow your life is superior to another's. You are delusional, and your masters have you duped, and have used your ignorance and greed to accomplish that. Corporatism is merely the new and improved branding of serfdom and slavery. You know who you are, and what you have sold your humanity and soul for, yet you haven't got the foggiest clue as to why. Alas, you will preach truth and honor from your fictitious pulpits, and then rape a child, bed your neighbor's wife or husband, beat your children, while you all travel to your respective churches and think you have somehow been absolved by confessions of your sins? Oh, I assure you, confessions of your deviant acts are only the beginning of your spiritual walk, and you're not even standing yet. You will run and hide behind others like you for protection, and all the while be protecting the very monsters that own you and your soul. They're the ones laughing at how deeply you have been tricked into subservience while getting little pats on the head and some table scraps for treats. Sadly, you drool for these pittances inasmuch as you lust to go out day after day and fulfill your quotas for your slightly higher master. You will partake in stealing people's homes without the slightest clue as to why, and only because some lawyer or judge says you should. You will use and have used violence against the peaceful to satiate your bloodlust. But that is normal for an animal still locked into the predatory prey paradigm, and you will claim to be evolved. Evolved into what? Certainly not anything resembling a human, because humans don't feed on each other. That's cannibalism. Humans don't rape children, murder children, and destroy their lives. Humans enhance the lives of all around them because they are evolved. Oh, woe to ye lawyers, indeed, for you have corrupted the true laws of this universe for gain and profit at the expense of others. This includes priests, rabbis, imams, government officials, banking so-called elites or no-lights, lawyers, police, judges, weapons manufacturers, and all manner of useful idiots that claim to have authority over another. For those that have a Bible upbringing, time to shed a little truth as to why some guy really got crucified. He decided to go up against the bankers and moneylenders in the temple. The only time he ever set foot in one. And then what happened? Shortly after exposing the banksters for what they really are, thieves and parasitical vampires, he found himself on trial by the same own judge, where it was put to the public jury and he was crucified while a known criminal and murderer was set free. Yes, that is exactly what you're doing now. I find it sickeningly humorous that many of you are doing the same crimes millennia later, and you're still too dumb to see it. You have traded in what is true and right for profits and profits. You will pass your little dictates like they matter somehow. You will harm people for your gain because your job and subsequent masters say so, and in that, you feel justified. As stated previously, the clock is ticking and the pendulum is here for the old what goes round comes around festival of lights. Unfortunately for you, the golden rule is beyond fact. For those that have committed harm against me, I grant them their wish to experience that which they wished upon me, in the fullest sense and loving compassion, that maybe this time they will learn, and they will see the mistakes for what they are. I dare to turn over the tables of your masters, and you serve them willingly with the glee that a dog experiences as it licks its own genitals. You have chosen the acts of an animal, and will therefore have judged yourself accordingly. To thine own self be true. Fits in nicely there as well. You chose excuses written by another, and have bought your own damnation in your actions. After all, it is all about intent at the end of the day, right? Isn't that what your damnable courts are all about? Intent? Alas, it is never fully explained as to what intent is really all about. It's quite simple, in that the intention to do something always precedes the actions of the everyone. In that light, courts are completely unnecessary because we must judge ourselves in our actions after the fact by the very intention that has been revealed in the action. The innocence or guilt is already prima facie evidenced by your actions, be they in ignorance of the natural law or willful knowledge of the same. No one escapes the truth. No one. So we'll let that one sink in for a little bit. Yeah, wow. Only 20 minutes left. Unbelievable how quickly an hour goes by. Eh? We often wonder how quickly 2 hours goes by, and this is just crazy. So I do want to reiterate, that is to be continued, by the way. I've still got at least that again to write. The whole idea of writing this is to get into the Akashic, to get into the psyche, to get into the consciousness. The fact that we are our own judges, we are our own mirrors. There's no one outside of you that you can blame. And you will blame and blame and blame and blame and blame and never take responsibility for the fact that you're breathing and in the situation as well. That's a tough pill to swallow. That's the one that most people will choke on. Because they will look for justice and, oh, so-and-so has wronged me. Well, you got involved with so-and-so. How the hell isn't it your fault? You know, it takes two to dance. Absolutely. You know, of course, one has to ask for the dance, but still one has to accept. So invariably, what we deal with here in the dance of life is we go through situation after situation, scenario after scenario, getting entangled in other people's lives. There was a beautiful thing that got put up on my Facebook page, and I do want to go to it because it really sums things up. And this is one of the things that resonates with me because on occasion, and it happened a little bit last night, where I was trying to dispel that whole correlation of, you know, psychotic, child-mutilating, monster, vampire, parasites, religiocosis, chosenitis, freaks that prey on children. That was the only point I needed to make. And when it gets tainted by throwing something else in, that's when I take issue with the comment, not the individual making it. Because I, like everyone else, on occasion, and more often than not, I have a great deal of pride in knowing that I got where I am right now because I was willing to make more mistakes and be wrong more times than you. So that's really, for me, the only difference. And in that act, that's where you will find the deepest peace because you will be shredding your own ego. You will, you know, when people say, I'm sorry if I offended you, you didn't offend me. You can't offend me. You can say whatever you want. Where my fire comes in is when I see blatant ignorance, and it's not generally because of the individual. It's the way this system is set up, and I'm trying to break that paradigm. I'm trying to break that program And go ahead, let the tricky little bastard argue with me all day long. I'm still going to stand to my guns on it, no question. See, the thing is, and I don't care if people hate me or dislike me or slag me or do whatever, I can handle it. That's easy. Because what is more important to me is knowing that the truth is out and that children, anyone, but children especially, are not being harmed and mutilated in this fashion, that they're not dying as a result of a North American tax-bought NATO 7.62 millimeter full metal jacket round that rips off the jaw of a 9-year-old that probably died suffering in Libya because all the medical supplies were done. So imagine that's one of your children, because actually it is. That's one of my children. You see, I have a direct, family that we term in societal definitions. But my family is much bigger. My family is 7 billion strong. And each and every one of them matters as much as my 2 daughters. Now, that's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow. Well, how could they? Well, how could they not? Because if I make my children more important than yours, have I not created division? Have I not created a means for division between my children and your children because somehow I taught some sense of superiority? No, I teach equality. I teach balance. I teach understanding. I teach compassion. And yeah, there's some nights I go right off the deep end here on the air. Oh, guess what? I'm human. And I will do that. So here's a little thing that was on the Facebook that I thought is very poignant and definitely a point to hang on to at the end of this show. Don't let people pull you into their storm. Pull them into your peace. Kimberly Jones. Beautiful quote. Absolutely beautiful quote. Meredith, absolutely. For adding you, I am well and glad that you're here, hon. I've got so many people. You know what's happening, and it's a beautiful thing, is every that's out because I want to make sure I talk to everybody that contacts me. So and for the most part I do, and I like to make sure that people know that I'm seeing their posts and I'm seeing the shares that they send, the messages and the Skypes and all the rest of it, because it all matters to me, because I am everyone. So are you. So everyone matters to me. It has to, because I am everyone, and so are you. You see how it works? It's a perfect mirror of itself. It's an opportunity to see the one, finally see the one. And that's all I'm asking for. Well, we got about 15 minutes left. I got 2 callers here, area code 417 and area code 661. I'm going to open up both the lines. So we got 15 minutes to chit-chat back and forth. And I'm hoping that those listening right now got the message that you matter more to me than you realize. Because if you didn't, I wouldn't matter to me either. And that's how I see you. Mirror, mirror on the wall, you are the most glorious of them all. You're my reflection. So let's open the lines up here. And I know that sounds hokey and all sorts of, namby-pamby loves, but you know what, guys? That's me. That's where I've been my whole life. And I don't plan on shifting from there at all, because quite frankly, I mean it. So here we got area code 417 and area code 661. Both your lines are open. Who wants to jump in?
Hi, Kate.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
I'm good, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm looking forward to the closing of your essay. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I promise, because I haven't even hit the punchline yet. So, and by the way, Jim, I will, as all my writings, when I finish them, I do post them out on Facebook and get them around onto the website. My stuff you can get at Syncrenicity.com. For those that have never been to the site, we'd love for you to stop by. It's SYNCRENICITY.com, Syncrenicity.com. Love to have you. And I haven't been there yet today. I haven't even had time to do that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it myself, Jim.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I did want to ask you a question. On the show afterward, who's the guest that's coming on that's got some breaking news or something?
Well, we have Tony Farrell.
Tony Farrell.
Oh yeah, and for those that don't know Tony, he is a former top police investigator of the highest order, and this is going to be an interesting show. And there is another individual, young lady that goes by the tag 7, and she will be joining us as well. And this is going to be a beautiful expose on the direct involvement and creation of the British government involved in 7/7. So get ready for it. It's going to be some serious breaking news this was perpetrated by the British government and different affiliates attached to it. I don't know all the details, so that's where I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to let Tony and 7 take care of that. And of course, Tony Z will be there. So we'll be having
7/7. Is that the subway deal?
That was the London subway bombing. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so that was the British 9/11.
Yeah.
The smoking gun, as it were. So.
I like the British 9/11.
Well, yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
Well, I know that's exactly what it is.
You know, you want to blow up subways and kill people and buses and whatever, then and try to blame it on. Wrap it up and blame it on another culture, be it Muslim, brown, or whatever, just to keep us fighting each other. And look at how many people bought into it. And here's the funny thing, Jim. When people finally realize the truth of something that they bought into, like in the case of the liars called, George W. Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, Wolf Blitzer, all these characters that were involved in selling, Colin Powell, Colin, don't you shit through that there, Colin? Sorry. Anyway, Colin, whatever you want to call yourself, I don't know. Anyway, when you find out later that every one of these guys and girls, what was Chickie's name? Doing all this. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. They do the best stuff.
Condoleezza Rice?
Yeah, Condoleezza Rice.
Con.
Yeah. Absolutely. We call her Con for short. Anyway, so you got this whole ragtag team of basically what that essay was about. And when people finally realize, not that long, it took a few years because that was a very big hit on humanity's psyche. But when people started realizing the truth, that it was an inside job, that it was perpetrated by elements within the United States government, the Israeli government, the Mossad, the CIA, MI6, and other affiliated groups that go along with that. And you remember back to when you were going, yeah, go get them. That's some accountability there that people have to take care of. And this is what's going to happen tonight as well. There's going to be revelations and expose that are going to have people hopefully looking in that mirror, the ones that were going, yeah, go kill the Muslims, go kill the brown people, go kill the Iraqis, go kill the Afghanis. Those people, when they find out that they got duped beyond duped and that they were actually doing their master's bidding, hopefully there's a little bit of reckoning within their own souls, because that pendulum is coming back, and it's swinging back hard and fast right now. So I wouldn't want to be on the, the firing line of that pendulum. And this for anything, Jim, with me right now, the only concern I have is that these people wake up soon enough and change their ways. And all you have to do is change your intent and then stand in it. That's what repentance is. That is re-pen-t. Re is the original spelling of Ra, the sun god, or the son of God. Pen means mind or head. And T, of course, is the note of love. So that's when you get back into the mind of love, the Son of God mind of love. That's what repenting is all about, and that's where people need to. You can confess all day long. The Sunday morning churchgoers and Saturday night drinkers, and they go into church on Sunday. They get their once a week slate cleaned, I guess is how they perceive it to be. Those types. Yeah. Sorry, when you make a choice to stand in truth and decide that maybe next week I won't go and bed my neighbor's wife or I won't go bed my neighbor's husband and all the rest of it. When people finally realize that saying something is good but not good enough, you got to actually put that into use. Gotta stand in it, baby. That's the tough part. Finding the truth is easy. Standing in it, that's the bitch. But it is, because everything that we've been taught and that's acceptable by society is basically taught by the governments, by the churches, by the system of control, by the authorities. What a joke. Talk to the local authorities. Sorry, biatch. I am my authority. I will wish no harm on anyone. And in that, I'm standing in universal law, and I'm good with that. So we have area code 661 called in. Did you have any questions or comments? I hear the birds.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess area code 661 doesn't have any comments, just listening in, and that's okay. We love you for that. Yeah, we've only got about it. Well, here, actually, I better check because the clock. I've got just under 6 minutes to go here. So what else is on your mind, Jim?
Well, you made a comment that you just want to wake up everybody, and it's really difficult. It's very difficult. I have a very good friend that I was with a couple days ago, and it was just beautiful outside. But they were just chemtrailing the hell out of the skies all day long. I mean, it was just like a checkerboard. And and I said, yeah, he made the comment that it was such a nice day, and I said, yeah, it'd be even nicer if they weren't spraying the chemtrails. And he goes, what are you talking about? I looked at him, and I said, come on. I go, look, there's one right there. They're doing it right now, right in front of your eyes. Look. I go, that's not normal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I go, contrail evaporates. That's not evaporating.
Yeah,
it's spreading.
Well, the thing is, what you've done is you've done exactly what that's all we need to do is just plant the seed. And look what you did. You made them accountable. Look, can't you see it? Are you blind? Now they have to go. Now they have to go and ask some questions of themselves. And we just had another caller chime in here. It's another 661 area code. Oh wow, that's bizarre. It's two of the same number, so I'll open that one up as well. It must be some call-in routing number. Anyway, I'll open it up. Just a reminder, in a little over half an hour we'll be on QL Television with Johnny, and Truth Hour with Tony Z, myself, and Tony Farrell, and Seven for a major breaking story. And we're hoping to have them on the show tomorrow night on Cosmic Blueprints or Outside the Box, whatever the case may be. It'll be us anyway, so you know what you're getting with that. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. And also thank you to Critical Mass Radio Online and criticalmassradio.co.uk, Paul, Lisa, and the crew. Thank you so much for giving us this platform, even if it was for only an hour tonight, and that's okay. So I'll do one last call out to you guys. We got a little over 3 minutes here. Any comments you want to make or whatever? Just go for it.
Well, I just wanted to know: are you gonna put the QL link into Love and Stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as I get it from Johnny, which I probably already have, and I generally like to post stuff a half an hour ahead. Tony Z just joined us. Tony, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm literally just dropping windows and trying to get music quietened off in the background, having just signed in. Interesting turn up for the books. In all the time that I've known Johnny, and all the time that I've known QLP, we've never had an attack like has just happened to Johnny. What's actually happened is something's gone wrong with Skype. Something's happened with Skype whereby he turns his Skype on and it's getting taken down. And he's done it again and again and again and again. He's tried everything he can possibly do to get the Skype up and running. He's actually, at the moment, he's basically had to give up. He's had to take Skype off the computer completely and reinstall it into the system, and it's still not working.
Okay, so, well, we have the Uvu option. I have that installed, and so does Johnny. So,
Johnny's tried to contact you, but obviously you've been on air, so you're rather busy right now.
Yeah, for another 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, well, basically at the end of the day, we've had to can it for tonight, guys. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well,
we've had to pull the plug on it for tonight because we've been standing by, and it's just the universe is basically saying no, not tonight. So it can't happen tonight. But if people want to get the information of what's actually going on, they can go straight to Synchronicity, whereby there's reports, there's information on the front page of Synchronicity about what this case is really about, and it is absolutely huge, which is obviously why Johnny has been hit. Judges have been killed over this information. Okay, this is huge. It's billions and billions of pounds worth of material that's been stolen.
Okay, and before we go off air, then I'm going to say it right now. We got just over a minute. Tomorrow night we will have Tony Farrell and Seven on Critical Mass Radio to release this information. We got 60 seconds left, Tony. Wrap it up.
Okay, that's good as gold. So yeah, apologise to everybody. Apologies. There's nothing we can do. They're hacking the crap out of the system, and there's nothing we can do on that. But synchronicity.com, Synchrenicity with an E.com, and that's where you can find the information. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, we can roll past the hour here, Tony. If you want, get on the archive for any further information. Actually, if you want, I can pull Seven and or Tony in. Maybe just do a quick preemptive strike while I've got the board running. I can't reschedule another hour because of how the UK time works, but I can at least get them in for a half hour in the archive.
If you wanted to do that, that's fine.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to bring him in right friggin' now. Okay, so let me... won't matter because I'm the host. I can bring whoever the hell I want in. So hang in there, guys. We're into the recording, so those that are already on the board, you are getting it live, and I'm going to bring... where's Seven? I'm going to bring Seven in, and hopefully this works. Yep, I can pull people in. So let's see if we can get Seven to chat for a bit. At least I know we can run for at least a half an hour after the hour, Tony. All right, just waiting for Seven. If you could give her a quick heads up, typing
already done it.
Okay, good. And it's looking like Tony is offline right now, or invisible. Hello, Seven. Are you there?
I'm here. Hi, who's that?
This is Kate. How are you?
Hey, Kate. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, the voice doesn't match the boobs. Get over it.
Sorry?
The voice doesn't match the boobs. Get over it.
Wow. Okay. Well, my first name is Charles, and it didn't match my boobs either. So
Isn't that correct? I love it. Anyway, cool. I just got word from Tony that Johnny has been hacked to the nines, which is typical of this kind of information. We're used to this, so it's a big giggle for us.
Okay.
But we've got, if I'd have known sooner, as in before I got on, logged the show, I could have ran us for another hour here. But we do have about a half an hour, so we can cover some information. It is going into the recording. You're not on air right now, but this archive will be got by many, and I know they will grab it.
Okay.
Okay, so
cool.
Anything that you want to talk about, I've already announced that I'm going to bring you and Tony Farrell on to Critical Mass Radio tomorrow night, midnight to 2 a.m., your time.
Okay. All right.
And no. Nothing stops us. Nothing slows us down. We get this story out. This is too critically important.
Yeah, it's major. It's so major. That's why they're doing it. You know what I mean? Because basically what we're holding is dynamite. They know it. It will shut them down overnight. If this goes viral, it's all over for them. See,
we don't use the word if. When this goes viral, and I guarantee you this is the joy of hooking up with us, and it will go viral very quickly. You're linked into tens of thousands right now.
Awesome.
Sorry about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we live now?
Well, it will be. It's not live on the air, but it is in the archive, so it is part of the show. What happens when I go off the air? Normally, I book 2 hours. I did an hour tonight, thinking that we're going to be with Johnny, and
okay.
But we have at least a half hour past the airing, so it is part of the show. It will be in the archive, so people will hear it.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Do you want to ask me some questions, or shall I? How do you want to do it?
I'm going to hand the reins over to Tony on this, and you take it whatever direction you want, Tony.
Okay. No,
cool.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Right. Well, what we've actually got here, we've got two different. They're not different stories. They're separate subjects.
Okay.
The first, I'm talking sort of like in general to the audience, to the listeners, but the first story
I need
is
to put my volume up. Wait 1 second because you're very, very faint here. Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear? Okay, because you are very faint. Can you talk again, Tony? Sorry, I'm just doing a sound check on you here.
Yeah.
It's a bit better. Okay, I'm with you.
Right. Okay. So I was just explaining to the listeners what we've actually got here in the form of news and in the form of information. We've got a situation where Tony Farrell is obviously famous for releasing his own findings on the research that was done on the 7/7 bombings that happened in London. Now, what Tony was the chief analyst who actually was working for the police at the time, and he was trained to do his job by the police force. He was given the evidence, to actually go through it and look at all the information. Now, when he actually looked at the information, what he found was, in fact, that it wasn't Muslim terrorists that would actually, running this operation. It was actually the government. In other words, certain secret, esoteric organisations within the realms of the Masons, etc., that were carrying out these psychological operations, which was what 7/7 was. And basically he found the evidence, and he presented the evidence as he found it, because he is a genuine, serious person. He's found the evidence that proved that it wasn't what the government said. In other words, the story isn't the same as what you were told. The official story does not match the evidence that was there. And basically Tony actually blew the whistle on that situation, went to his top I don't know what you call them, chief inspectors, or the top of his chain, and he actually exposed that information to them. And he said, well, look, I understand what you want me to say. I understand what the evidence is telling me, but the two are in completely conflicting situations. And he's famous for actually going on record as to presenting that information. Now, since then, he's gone into much greater detail and constructed a report, of which can be found. It can be found on Syncrenicity.com, the website that we're affiliated with, obviously, and it's front page news. So you'll find the report, you'll find the information, you'll find witness statements, you'll find all of the evidence you need, and 2 interviews. One of them being from Tony Farrell, the second one is from 7. And now the second story, which is what we're talking about, is 7's story. So if you can, basically I'm just going to give you a tiny zip file. The situation is that 7 created some TV programs and other intellectual property scripts for television, stage plays or whatever, for the media, basically. And just in brief, she presented these stage plays to certain people in London that were some of the key shakers and movers and shakers in London, and they consequently stole her ideas. And those ideas we commonly know on TV now as being some of the biggest shows on the planet. So in a zip file, that's what's going on. Then there was a court case brought by 7 against these people that stole this intellectual property rights, and then this court case is basically it came to a conclusion that 7 was actually the rightful owner of the material, and also basically the judge, who was the top intellectual property judge to oversee the case, ended up dying in suspicious circumstances.
Okay, and hey Tony,
is huge.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. 7. Need to hear it right from you, baby. Just let rip.
Hey, Kate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kate, do me a favor and mute me.
Yep, I can do that. I'll mute everybody except
Thank you.
7 and Tony. There we go. All right, go ahead, 7.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on your show, and thanks for the introduction. You're absolutely right about Tony. he basically was given a narrative to follow, and he refused to do that. He's a man that is very principled. He's an extremely honorable human being. He's of the utmost integrity. I mean, I've met a lot of people in my journey, and my journey's been 10 years now. And I've got to say, he has gone out of his way in the last 6 months to examine everything that I had available. And mine now 10 years, because my journey with what is effectively an organized crime cartel operating in mainstream media and from law firms, and I'm going to name the people because it's really, really essential that people investigate these people for themselves, because we have to take this to the public. It's no longer a situation whereby you can rely on the British establishment to tell the truth, basically. We have a situation where it's a massive cover-up of mammoth proportions. And the report, which is called the Farrell Report, and everybody can Google that, that's the farrellreport.net, as well as getting it on your show. And take a look at the report. I've highlighted some key pages in relation to myself and just key information and pages of things that you can look at so that you can see the extent of it. But I'll give you a brief synopsis. I don't know how much time we have, but I'll give you a brief run-through of my...
Take as much time we need.
Okay, well, excuse me. My story, basically, my brother died in the early 90s. He was an exceptionally brilliant human being, and I was already in the entertainment industry. I was quite young. I was in my teens and my early 20s around that time, actually. My brother died, and I decided that I wanted to do something for him as a sort of testament to his life, because I was already in the entertainment industry working. I was doing a lot of stuff. In my early career, I'm also a musician, but I was around filmmakers, TV. I was a stylist. I was doing inventions. I did a lot of stuff you do when you're young and being a very creative individual. And when my brother died, I decided I was going to create a multimedia platform to highlight health issues, because my brother died of an illness at the age of 30. And he was such a special person that I felt I could do something that would help other people who were plagued by illness, and have it as something that would run in the entertainment industry. And so what I did was I did a lot of research, background research into all sorts of things. I researched hospitals, I researched schedules of programs, what kind of programs existed, and spoke to lots of people who had strokes, who had heart attacks, cancer, drug abuse. I spoke to a whole multitude of people. And this culminated in me creating what was a multimedia platform. And I kind of held back on it for many years, but around 2002, I found myself ill, and I was at home. I had sort of a tonsil problem at the time, and I was flicking through the channels and thinking, God, they've got utter crap on this TV. You know, they don't have anything to address for people that are incapacitated and can't get out and want information about health. And I thought, well, this would be a perfect time to sort of launch my project. So what I did was I sort of upgraded all the information, because it had spanned back many years, the research and the whole thing. So I upgraded the information, and I put together a comprehensive multimedia platform to address health and fitness in a kind of sexy way, if you like, in a way that was sort of fun for people, the whole family, and that addressed a wide demographic audience and catered for a number of different complaints. So I wanted to incorporate dance because I was around dancers. I'm a musician. I like to dance. I'm around dancers all the time. I also knew a guy who was an Olympic athlete, Juan Fernandez. And, you know, so I kind of incorporated lots of different disciplines, and it's a fairly comprehensive package that I put together. Anyway, around 2003, I decided I wanted to launch it. So I contacted the Law Society in London, and not realizing that that's another very, very highly corrupt organization. At that time, I have to say, although I had lots of paper trail, because obviously there was a lot of research done over a number of years, so there was a big paper trail of my work and my just talking to different people and looking after people with strokes and stuff. So I had a lot of data, but I didn't realize the level of corruption. I mean, everybody knows that the entertainment industry is corrupt. It's a lot of money going through TV rights and etc. So usually with big organizations where there's lots of money being exchanged, millions of pounds for TV rights, etc., you're going to find that kind of corruption. But I had no knowledge of the extent of it. So what I did was, my instinct told me, you're going to protect this. What you've created is absolutely dynamite. I knew it was a winnable concept. And I could see from my research into TV scheduling, and all this is all part of the case that went forward. There's lots of information about this. It was all put before a judge, many judges. And what I actually did was contacted the Law Society, and I said, I need a lawyer. I lived, although I've still got the property.
Okay, I'm not. Can you hear us, Tony?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Seven.
Oh, yeah, it looks like. Hang on, I just want to make sure that. No, I'm still on the board here.
Okay. Okay. So Seven's information has dropped off. I'm just finding out where she is. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Did you hear the fireworks?
I did.
Oh, yeah, that was a little popcorn action. So I'm gonna. She can rejoin the call here. I'm just seeing what's going on with it. Hang on, because my Skype froze up here too. Go figure, you know. Problem with the call. Hold on while we try to get the call back. So she's still in the call, but it's trying to ring back through. So yeah, it's a lot of information that's coming out, and I can already see where this story is going. And again, there's another prime example of the vultures. That yeah, it looks like we just she dropped off there. Can you still hear me, Tony?
I can still hear you loud and clear.
Yes. I think we have her back.
Okay.
Seven, you there? Okay. Hello, Seven, are you there?
Sir.
There you are. You're back. Okay, good.
Great.
She got bumped again. I'm afraid to mute. Fun stuff, eh?
Okay, you were saying, Seven.
They're having problems there anyway, so we're just gonna.
Yeah, Seven, you there?
Let's see what's here.
I can hear you, Seven. Oh no, she's getting bumped again. Are we having fun yet, boys and girls?
Console hockey.
Yeah, console hockey's right. Seven, are you there? Hello, Seven. We're definitely going to be running a 2-hour Truth Fest on this one. Oops, am I still there?
You're still there, yeah.
Okay, barely it looks like. So, oh no, they're not liking this at all, huh?
Well, I mean, when you drill down into the magnitude of what this information means, it's huge.
Oh, it is huge.
And
absolutely huge.
It goes everywhere, which is why they bumped off judges to try and hush this one up.
Well, yeah, everything ties back to the Law Society, and that's exactly where it's going.
Yeah, let me just throw this out there for people. The type of information and the type of shows that we are referring to is Dancing on Ice and all sorts of different shows like this. And Seven actually goes into a list of these shows, and you can recognise them as soon as she actually explains the scripting and how she sort of come up with the show. There you go. We've got you again.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. Oh, bloody hell, we just lost her. Are you there, Tony?
Yep, I am.
Okay, we had her and we lost her. As soon as you said, "Hey guys," and the phone went dead. Well, we're going to hang in there for as long as we can at this point. So, hey, it's just raising more interest in what we're going to be covering tomorrow night. And
it's fine. Yeah, it's not just going to be tomorrow night.
No,
it's going to be a sustained campaign on this for a while.
Oh, absolutely, no question. This is seeing exactly where it is and where it's going. Yeah, this is a game not changer. This is a game ender.
I think it was something to do. Apparently the message is coming through. I can't hear anything. So she's completely been cut off down there. She's been isolated.
Okay.
The judge, I think it was Judge Pumphrey or something. In fact, I can actually check. This guy was in perfect health, and this is the judge that ruled in Seven's favour. And basically said, you're right. She's been ripped off. The intellectual property has been stolen. It's been stolen by massive companies. And you can think of the biggest companies you want because they're all in there.
Well, again, it goes right back to Bernie, right? Or Elliot, sorry. Elliot Bernstein. Right?
He suffered the same thing.
Same thing.
But this is just a different form of IP. Instead of being an invention, it's an actual script for a show or a series of shows.
So this one's connecting all the dots.
Yeah, it's all intellectual property, but the point is it reaches everywhere because it was taken to court and because it was actually weighed up in court and because the court found in favour in this particular situation for Seven or in her favour, they took the judge out.
Yeah, well,